what that really means is, in the Old Testament, people dedicated their homes and they dedicated their lands to the Lord. And whenever they dedicated something to the Lord, it was telling the Lord that I'm giving you this so that it can be used for you, for your service. And so we see in the Bible where Hannah actually was without child, and she prayed and asked God for a child. She received a child, and she told God that she was going to give that child back to God. And so we see that she took that child to the temple, dedicated that child back to God as for God's service. In her case, she actually took the child there and left him there. And he lived his life serving God. And so what's happening here is the mom is saying, I want my child dedicated to God. I want my child to live a life or service for God. And so all we're going to do is we're going to pray and we're going to ask God to put protection around this child, that this child would not be affected by anything of this world, any contamination of this world, no drugs, no abuse, no illiteracy, no HDDDs or whatever them acronyms are. None of those things. That this child will not have to take any medication to function in this life. That this child would not live a life having to spend a life struggling with depression, oppression, stress.
That's right.
That this child will live a life in the peace of God, and that it will grow up in the admonition of God. And I asked Mother White and Mama Brown, and I almost called her minister, Deaconess, my child, Deaconess to come up for the mom, because the mom had to go to work. But these guys, are responsible for that mama now. They got to keep in touch, and they got to make sure she's all right and make sure she's got what she needs. And so, Mama Brown and all of them, she got children's, and so got to get in there and help with the children's as well. That's what this family is about, right? Okay, so I'm gonna just take this little one. I remember the first time I did this, and I was holding the baby, and my pastor said, "You act like you ain't never had no children before." I guess I was holding the baby kind of funny, so. Okay, I'm just going to ask that you guys would just pray with me. Father, I just come to you in the name of Jesus, Lord. We thank you and we praise you, God, for what's going on. We thank you and we praise you, God, for this child, Lord. We just want to give this child back to you, Lord, for your service. We ask that you would just begin to move upon the altar of this child's heart, Lord, and upon the mind of this child, God. Lord, we thank you and we praise you that the mother had a desire, had a heart to want to bring her child for this purpose, Lord. So, Lord, we ask that for the family, Lord, that you would be there for them, and that you would supply their needs, their daily needs, oh God. That encouragement would be there, God. Sufficiency would be there, God. Peace would be there, God. Understanding would be there, God. Wisdom would be there, God. Lord, we ask that you just begin to download that into the family, oh God. Lord, we thank you for touching this life right here, oh God. As we give this child back to you, Father.
Yes, Lord.
You gave this child to the earth, and we give it back to you, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
We give the child back to you. Receive this child.